Hey coaches, Coach Bishop back here again, trying to look at our trap series as well as our tweaks and the different things that we do within our trap series that may be a little bit different than what other people do. What I want to make sure that you're aware of is if you're watching this from the playbook, pay no attention. If you're looking at this on CoachTube, understand this, that you have the ability to purchase our system and it is already chock filled with a lot of stuff. The one thing I want you to understand is if you buy it now, it's going to be cheaper. And you'll be able to gain advantage of me giving you updates where if you get it on the back end, you're going to pay full price for the things that you guys have already gotten. And so with that being said, I'd like to go ahead and dive into our trap series, talk about our traps and talk about our tweaks and our multiple wing tee offense. And so what I would like to do is, like I said, I just want to get started and let's just talk basics here. We want to talk about our fullback trap from the even front. Nothing big. I mean, we're talking all the blocking rules are the same, which we'll get into here in a second. We'll talk about our backs and how they attack it. But one of the things I want you to be aware of is this. What we like to do is we want to give our offense the ability to attack this many different ways. So we could call it at the line of scrimmage in terms of a huddle. We can line up in a huddle. We can call trap to the right. And we may get a 3 technique. We may not. And we have ways to attack that. If we're no huddle, we may ask the coach up in the press box to, hey, tell us where the 3 technique is in an even front, and we'll trap the 3 technique. And we may go ahead and teach our quarterback, because we have an audible system. We might say, hey, this week, we're going to trap the 3 technique, or we're going to trap the 2-eye, or we're going to trap this number kid. So it's important for you to understand you can go in and game plan a lot of things. And to be honest with you, against some fronts, I like to trap weak. We want to be able to block down on that 2-eye and kick out of 5. So a lot of different ways for us to attack it. So let's talk real quick, play side, or talk about our line rules. And so I'm going to start with our play side tackle. And so what you're going to look at is we use a little rhyme. We say trap to me, play side LB. So if you're the play side tackle, you're essentially going to be blocking the play side linebacker. You may get a tag. So you might get trap influence, trap back, or trap down. And if you get any of those, you're going to be assigned to the backside linebacker. So there is a little bit of a difference there. And knowing that if you get a tag to the type of call you get, it's going to determine who you block. Play side guard, our rule is gap first because we could block down on a gap defender. You're going to look at backside linebacker, possible combo with a center versus a 50 front, a possible down call. Because if you get an inside gap, you're going to call it down. So everybody knows we're going to kick the next man outside. And a possible back call from the center. So if the center's covered and he's having a block back on the backside guard for a trap, there's somebody has to block the guy on top of the center, so he's going to give a back call. The center, his rules are on backside linebacker with a possible back call to the guard. And the backside guard, he's going to pull. He's going to trap the first defender, 2 technique and out. Okay, again, 2 technique and out. So we're talking about a head up on the guard. Backside tackle, he's going to be responsible to scoop. Now, here's some things that I think are critical in defending our trap. We want to make level 2 defenders, such as an outside linebacker, become a level 1 defender. So that way he's eliminated from what we call the wall, which you'll see here in a minute. So we ask our wing back to step down through the tight end's heels as if he were running buck sweep. So he's going to 1-2. Then he's going to square up, and then he's going to wall levels 2 to 3. So if level 2 does not chase the line of scrimmage, he's going to now work up to the level 3 defender, get his upfield shoulder. Rule, never chase a defender moving to the line of scrimmage. And then also, here's where something is a little bit different. If you're the 3rd man from the center, you will work to the linebacker. So if you're working your weak set where you have a split end and a little slot there off the tackle, that guy takes the place of the tight end. So the number 3 guy is going to block the inside linebacker. Halfback, he's going to carry out the buck sweep fake, and if trap is called to you. So if let's say we're lined up and we're running trap weak, we're going to run a quick pitch fakes because that's part of our offense. Here's where we get some things that are interesting. We call our fullback tailback. Long story, but regardless, for you guys, it's fullback. We ask our guy to always step with his play side foot. Okay, we don't step off the midline. We're going to run the midline. So we're getting a vertical step with our play side foot. If there's what we call a hard center or closed middle against a 50 front or an A-gap player, then he's going to cut on his second step. So if we're running trap to the right, he's going to take a step with his right foot, left foot, ball, cut. Okay. If there's a soft or there's an open middle, he's going to continue past the line of scrimmage and break towards the wall, typically on his fourth step. And then he's going to continue vertical when he passes the wall. We'll show you some great clips of what the wall should look like. Our tight end, play side linebacker, release on path of least resistance. You'll figure that over time. Run your track, block level 2 to level 3 defender. So if you're going to go block the linebacker and he's scrimmed to the line of scrimmage, you're not going to go down. You're going to go up. Okay. No one crosses your face, and never turn back down, as we just said. If you get a tag such as influence, back and down, you're now automatically assigned to the play side linebacker. No level 3. X receiver, come off the ball hard, achieve inside position and wall the corner. And the quarterback, we're going to tell him the belly to ball, reverse out 12 inches over the midline. Okay. And then he's going to the second step is going to hand the ball. He's going to third step cross the midline, fourth step fake to halfback, gain width and depth, and carry out cowboy, or what we call waggle, 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. Okay. So with that being said, what I'd like to do is I want to go ahead and look at some cut-ups here. Okay. I want to look at some cut-ups and give ourselves an opportunity to take a look at some even front looks. So let's take a moment, and I'm going to get this nice and slow. And so we're in an unbalanced look. Okay, the outside receiver. Okay, if we're talking the outside receiver here, which is this guy, he really becomes an X. So he's going to block like an X would. Okay, he's going to turn out. All right. Now, these three guys, 1, 2, 3, they are going to form the wall. He may also be a part of it, depending on how we block things from week to week. But we're running trap to the right. Okay? Trap to the right. Here's your trap guy. This guy should backside scoop. Okay? So let's run this thing nice and slow. And as we do it nice and slow, what you're going to see is that we got a 3 technique. He's going to be trapped. And if we stop for a moment, there's 1, 2, 3 guys on the wall, and 1 lost offensive lineman who should be scooping to this past this guy's face, not chasing what he does here in a second, which is really frustrating and almost tackles the guy. So if you look, boom, lock, lock, pop. There's the seam, and we are off to the races. All right, and this is again unbalanced. The difference this time is we've split the guy out. So we've got an X receiver here. You've got 1, 2, 3. He's the wing back. Now this package for us this night was what we called beast. So really have offensive lineman as a guard, offensive lineman as a tackle, offensive lineman as a tight end, and the tight end's our wing back. We wanted to get heavy on these guys and run a lot of buck sweep, which we did. So I'm going to run it slow. And let's see if I can get a goal line view. There we go. Perfect. So what you can see nice and clear is we do have a 3 technique right here. All right. So we should get a release to the linebacker, release. Now, one thing we teach these guys is take your inside foot and run it right at that guy's heels. And what should happen is that guy should disappear. If he's if he runs technique, he puts his hands on this guy, so he's going to disappear. If he runs upfield, he's going to disappear. So that's a key teaching point, is take that tackle, okay? Take that tackle and go ahead and run that foot through his back heel and chase his hip, okay? That'll get you to that linebacker a whole lot faster. And then we also talk about this guy, easy release. He's a 7 technique. If we get under him, fine. If we can't, we'll have to go this way. I prefer to come under if possible, so we're going to run this nice and slow. And if you watch, let's just watch our tackle. He's not bad. He's probably a little vertical. All right. I wish it would run backwards as well as it does forwards. Now my tight end didn't know what he's doing because he's not a tight end. So he should continue on his path, right? Continue on your path and pick up this guy coming here. Leave this guy to run because he's chasing buck sweep. So we put it in 1 week. That guy's typically my guard. So he kind of comes back at the last second and kind of gets in the way. If he does his job, he's probably in a little bit better shape. Again, same play from the press box. We're going to let it run. But the tackle's too vertical. All right, there's your trap wall. And if he does his job, he's on that guy. And we may break the tackle. Even front. Same team, even front right here. We're going to say right guard is too vertical. Okay, he should be. Let's see if we can get an end zone shot. All right. So the right guard should be taking a hard step right here. This guy should be running through here and picking up. So you have that guard release steps and then goes vertical, and then he's got to adjust to that linebacker. That free safety is not his guy. It's that tackle's guy. Tackle does a pretty good job picking him up, and we bust the crease. Let's take a look at it from up top. And if my guard does his job, it's really simple for this fullback to pick up where he needs to pick up. I mean, it's a great run. It won the game for us. But if that guy's not flat or if he's not too vertical, he's already picked that guy off, and it's not an issue at all. This is the game-winning run. You can see my receiver yelling at him, get down, so we can run the clock out, and he gets tackled out of bounds. So you can see the guy on the sideline a little upset because he knew it was coming. All right. Again, another unbalanced set. You've got a 40 front, and just I'm going to run this thing through. It's important to watch my tight end's release here. He gets caught up, right? Poor release. And because he gets jammed, he essentially gets jammed into the hole and runs into the fullback. Great job by the fullback making a cut, but truth is, not a good job by the tight end. All right. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we're running trap week. So what we have is we're going to run trap over here, okay? The rule, remember we said trap to me, quick pitch. So I want you to watch him. This guy's eyeballing the halfback. And because quick pitch is part of our package, you're going to get a little bit of float from guys from time to time. So it's incredible. It's important to understand if we're running trap week, what are you doing with this guy? Because if we're running strong, he's running buck sweep. Okay. But what are you doing with him if you have a trap to him? And so we run quick pitch. It's a great little play off of it. Watch this safety. Right? He feathers, and he has to fall back on the tackle. But some of that is I don't think we do a very good job blocking, and this is my number 3 fullback at this moment. Beautiful wall right there. And somebody gets his head through. If I'm not mistaken, it's probably my center blocking back. It is. So we've got to do a good job of making sure that we block back in a great way. Okay? So there's another example of trap to me. We're going to go ahead and take a look. Okay, so what we have is without me even guessing, I'm going to guess we're going to run trap right here. We've got a 3 technique. Should get a block back from our center. And let's take a look at it. This night, our fullback ran for 330 some yards and 5 touchdowns. All right, excellent blocking by everybody there. Okay, let's take another look here. Let me go back. Remember what we were talking about is if you are number 3, right? If you're the number 3 guy. Now this is an odd formation for us. What we have is unbalanced over here to the left and a nub with a wing over here. And so when we take a look, right, he's number 1, he's number 2, he's number 3. So he should work his way from linebacker to free safety. Okay, so let's take a look and see if our wingback does his job and gets to where he needs to be. And we end up with 3 guys on that linebacker. Now we've got a play side A-gap stunt. So the linebacker is coming up and he's blitzing the play side A-gap. And for us, that becomes the guy we're going to trap. So let's see if I can get a good look from the end zone. All right, what we should get is a stunt right here. And you can see us trap him. And the reason being is because he becomes the first guy. And so we can't let him go. We end up trapping him. It's a big play for us on offense. So it's just some things that you have to be able to teach your kids to understand. All right, so we're going to flip back here. We're going to talk a little bit about fullback trap versus the 50 front. All right, fullback trap versus 50 front. Don't mind me, I've got an itchy nose today. All right, nothing really a whole lot different. The concepts are issues where it becomes a release from a tackle. Are we got a 4-eye? Do we have a 4? And so we have to make those adjustments from week to week. How are we releasing? Because we're going to be trapping that guy. The guard needs to understand that he may end up doubling with the nose. So those are some things that we have to be able to get our kids to understand. And so in this case, what we have, okay, I'm sorry, we talked about this. All right, let's go back to fullback trap. I'm sorry, odd front. I don't have the offensive line rules, so that's why I was a little bit off there. But this is our odd front. Again, nothing really changed. The only difference is we're gonna center's gonna base the guy on him, and we may have to double. One of those guys are gonna have to go double back to that will linebacker. So some things that may be a little bit different. Everything else is kind of the same when we talk about trap against an odd front. And so what I want to do is now let's go ahead and take a look at some of these cut-ups versus the 50 front. And this one's a really good one. We do have a 50 front. This guy was a hammer. So these 2 guys should be working him to this guy. Okay. And I don't think we did a very good job, if I remember correctly. So that guard stays on the center, stays on that nose, and he should actually be, that guy's disappearing, so he should end up on the backside back. And remember we talked about our fullback steps. All right, let's take a look. Is he stepping with his play side foot? There it is, 1. There it is, 2. There it is, break the wall. 1, 2, break the wall against the 50 front. Okay, 1, 2, break to the wall. And if we did a really good job of blocking that combo to the nose to the backside linebacker, we get a first down right there. And that's a 7A team against a 3A team. And to be quite honest with you, they were pretty dang good defensively. Let's see if I can kill this audio. It's a great end zone shot. why it's important. My fullback right here was struggling with his steps. 50 front, okay, 50 front. We should get double to the back depending on how this is played here. This guy should be coming here, right? He should be working his way here. And this is number 3, right? I'm sorry, this is unbalanced. So these two are working whatever combination we have them working. And then we should be pulling and trapping that guy right there. But our fullback has horrible steps. You'll see him kind of do a jump cut, right? Boom, really wide. And if he gets where he needs to be and stays semi-vertical and follows the wall, the other thing that you see is my tackle not getting past that guy. But if you pull it up from the top view, you'll see how close we were to busting it, but you can get a better view too of my fullback steps. He's 1, 2, and then he jumps. If he just stays where he needs to be, he's in a great position to break a long run. 50 front, okay. Now, even though it's 50, he's kind of an A gap. So we've changed how we do this, but we should combo here. So it should be really simple. The guard should be able to come down on that guy. We should be able to chase that backside linebacker with the center. I can't get rid of these annotations, so I apologize. And bad play. I don't mind putting in some bad plays too. Again, 50 front. Now they slide. Okay, they slide. This shouldn't matter. What should end up happening is those two guys, right? These two, 1, 2, are responsible for these two, 1, 2. Plain and simple. And this year it was before we put in the fullback steps. So you can look, he's stepping with his onside foot first, and then he's bending it hard. We worked on those steps, and man, when we got them right, it changed everything. All right. Now, just in case you hadn't figured it out, it is 3rd down and about 20. There aren't a whole lot of pass plays. I mean, you can run a screen. There aren't a whole lot of things. So what I like to do on 3rd long, I'm just going to be honest with you, I love to run trap because people are thinking pass. They're screaming upfield. And here we go against the 50 front. Okay, 1st down. Spread them out, getting crazy formations. This, if I remember correctly, is almost picture perfect textbook. So I want to pull it back from the goal line. Take a look. So we should have our center and our guard, those two working on this guy back to that guy. Okay? I believe this combination here, if I remember, is really good. See how he dips back door? Well, here comes the guard saying, okay, I'm going to help you out. You don't need my help. I'm going to pick you up. We'll watch it from up top. Excellent job getting to the next level. My tight end doesn't do a very good job. He's a little slow. I think he got a little freaked out because he got there so quick. Again, unbalanced. You see the wall coming down, getting to that 2nd level. I mean, this is just one play we could run this year was trap. Watch these guys get to the next level. Boom, boom, boom. And this cat hadn't even been touched yet. And he's already 20+ yards, and then we fumble the ball on the next play. So you got like a 3-3 stack look. Doesn't matter. It's odd. We're still going to use the same rules and same mindset. We're going to try to get to that next level. Guard track is poor, and that's because if you look, well, this time he is stepping with his play side foot, but he's too vertical. So if you look how many steps he's taken, I believe he's on his 3rd. It should be 1, 2, So here we go. 1, 2. And he's kind of, right. So it's not awful. All right. Now, the other thing you got to look at is watch my guard. This guard who's trapping, what we try to tell him is, look, your step should take you into the line of scrimmage, right? Into the line. Well, if he's into the line of scrimmage, dang it. If he's into the line of scrimmage, he should be right here. And instead, he's chasing this guy. That guy's not going to make a play. So don't chase a guy upfield. Right? He was kind of useless. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at our down call. All right. We'll take a look at our down call and kind of remind you of what that means and what we're doing. So this is our trap versus the odd front. Now we're going to get a down call. So that's against a 2 that may be stunting to an A gap. It may be a shade. It may be a 2-eye. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make sure our guard blocks down. And now we're going to kick the next man out. But also the down call tells the play side tackle he has to go to the backside linebacker. Okay, he has to go to the backside linebacker. Tight end must go to the play side linebacker. Because if we don't, there's nobody to block the backside linebacker. Okay, so it's something that we have to keep in our minds, that we need to understand that if there's a down call, that's how we're going to handle it. And so let's take a look at some of our cut-ups. Okay, this is a down call. And we also have a halfback. So this is 2 different things. So we've got a trap to me. Okay, so we should get a quick pitch. And then we get a down call. So this is a great little look at a couple of things we've been talking about. Guard blocks down. But what do we have? We've got an issue, right? My tackle doesn't get the call. And so he goes to the play side linebacker. And what do we notice? Who's on the backside linebacker? Nobody. And if he's a good player, he's already in there making the tackle. So he has to go to that backside linebacker. The tight end got where he needed to go. The tackle needs to get where he needs to go. So this would have been a really good play. And then also take a look at our halfback, right? We talked about quick pitch. Watch the safety's reaction. Okay, let me rewind it just a little bit. That quick pitch action is pulling that safety out. And because it pulls him out, right now he's in the chase mode, and we pick up probably an extra 10 yards because of the way we call it and the way we run it. Again, another down call. Let's see if I can get a end zone copy. There we go. Now you might be saying, well, coach, he's not an A gap. He's not. But what we knew was he was going to be moving to the A gap. And just think, if that's the case, we talked about if we have a stunting linebacker, we're going to trap the stunting linebacker. So we should be trapping number 9. Block down, kick 9, and we don't kick 9. So let's pull this up top and take a look. It's a great play of a mess up. Tackle, play side tackle should let him go. It's tough, but he should let him go. You got to practice all this stuff, and he does. Trying to figure out who makes the play here. Number 25. So the guy that we're blocking down. So what happens is my fullback then doesn't do the right thing. He's 1, 2, and he's going to the line of scrimmage. He should be breaking, and if he's doing, and that's what you got to remember. If he's taking his right step, so it should be right, left, break, kind of like a 50 front, and he'd be right along the wall right there. Okay, so those are some things that we need to take into consideration. If you have a down call, fullback is taking 50 step, right? 50 track, because it's a hard center. Let's take a look here. Again, we should be getting a down call here. So this guy should be blocking here. We should get a block back here. He should be releasing and getting a backside linebacker. He should be releasing, getting a play side linebacker. If he disappears, he's got to the safety. And we should end up trapping this guy right there. Let's see how it looks. All right, so really what we had was a jet action and run trap. But what do you notice? Who did we not block again? We did not block the backside linebacker. So this is something it was new this year. As a matter of fact, we started putting it in. And if we pick up the backside linebacker with that tackle, we walk in because the tight end's easily on here. Okay, the tight end should have easily been able to get on this linebacker. And this guy right there should be on this linebacker. And look at the wall increase we have. So again, coach it, coach it, coach it, coach it, coach it. All right, so we do have jet with a trap. And it looks like we're running trap back. And if you look here, from the looks of it, we should be getting a down call. That's an easy. We should be running down, kick, and then we've got nobody on that. I think that's the outside linebacker, which makes it tough because we jetted that guy around and now he folds back in. So great call. Actually was blocked pretty well, but there's nobody for that guy. All right, we're going to talk about some of the other things that we do with our traps. This is a little bit different. And so years ago, the way we handled a guy in the A gap is we would S-curve him and hope that he would be influenced. We would hope that he would get influenced. And so this right here is an influence. It's versus an inside or outside shade play side. So you could, if you know that that 2-eye is going to penetrate and take himself out of the play, then you can influence. But it's important to make sure that it really, in my opinion, you influence first a 3 technique. Rules, play side tackle has to go backside. Tight end has to go play side. All right, and your play side guard is going to S-curve. Note, this is only good versus penetrating and trailing defensive tackles, okay, or linebackers in the 50 that are reading guards. So if they're reading guards or they're running upfield pretty heavy, if they are a technique-oriented defensive front, so you take that 3 technique and that guard pulls outside, way we would teach it, he's going to attack the tackle. So the tackle should never be able to get to the backside linebacker and no one's there to block him. So we allowed our backside linebacker to run free if we got any type of S-curve, whether it be buck sweep or whatever. No one was there to block that cat. So real important for you to understand when we talk about influence, and we want to go ahead and look at some of those plays real quick in terms of running our influence. And like I said, the way we used to run it was we would S-curve that guy. Let me run this back a play. And so if you watch the left guard, he's going to S-curve. We kick that guy. All right. And then we pop it in the end zone. So that was just trap influence, but it was automatic. That was an automatic because, to be honest with you, we didn't have guards that were big enough to down on anybody. So because of that, that was our mindset. Let's take a look here. And if you look, our right guard, let me see if I can get an end zone shot. So here we go. We got an end zone shot, and we have an A-gap player. Let me see if I can get that stop. We got an A-gap player, okay? And this was an automatic because my guard right there is about 155 pounds. It's automatic. He should S-curve. This guy is a penetrator, and so we should be able to run trap on him, but I wouldn't guarantee that. I would prefer to run down. Okay, like I said, we had 337 yards that night. It's just another one. We could run trap on them anytime we wanted to because we were pretty good at it. Now, when we talk about people reading guards, I want you to watch this. This is crazy. So I don't think I have an end zone shot on this. So our little left guard has an A-gap player. He's going to pull. Now I want you to watch the rest of the defense. This is a great trap, right? Guy runs upfield. He chases guard. The other linebacker runs upfield for buck sweep. And he is toast. I mean, and I think we ripped this off for 70-yard touchdown. Okay, maybe not. There's another one we do. But the importance of understanding being able to pull this. Okay, here is our, and this one is even worse. Watch the linebackers on this play. We'll run it back real quick. Watch. You got one guy, he's screaming outside buck sweep. The other guy's screaming hard. Backside, boom. And this is a 90-yard touchdown. So a little bit better than 70 yards. And all that was influence. Now for us, we didn't call it. It was automatic for us versus a 2-eye. So again, depends on how you want to do it. If you got little guards, not a bad call. $50. And that cat rush for almost 1,700 yards that year. All right, let's take another look. These are what we call back calls. So let's go back and look at our PowerPoint here. So we get a back call. So if this, a lot of times it may be bare front, it may be an odd front. So what happens is you have your center covered and the guy that he's filling for, if he's going to block back on that guy, that guard who's pulling, somebody's got to block the nose. So we're going to give a back call. And what that means is we're going to tell the guard to block back as the center blocks back. And so it's anytime, like I said, used when the center and the pulling guard are covered. And so let's take a good look at that. And I'm sorry, I didn't pull up the PowerPoint for you guys to look at real quick. But again, you can see it. So the center's covered, backside guard is covered, the guy who's pulling. So we have to be able to block back, and then kick the next man. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these cut-ups and make sure that we're getting you guys what you need from a perspective of blocking back. Let's take a look here. Let's bring this all the way back. So in this case, you can barely see it. It's an old video, but I think you can tell the center right here is covered, and you can see the backside. So the guard is covered. So we should have down, center back, or back, kick over here. Okay? So back, kick, or down, kick, however you want to look at it. That way we're blocking back and blocking back. Another great look here. Center is covered. Okay, you see the center. Center is covered and the guard is covered. So the center should block back. Doesn't mean he's going to, because sometimes we weren't the smartest guys in the world. And we should get a block down. Okay. And we don't, so we just doubled it and kick. Not the best call. So there was a missed back call right there. I want to say against these guys, same thing. Center should be covered. He should block back. And he doesn't. I'm just showing you good and bad, good and bad. We got lucky against those guys because they were pretty athletic, but not very good up front. Okay, the next thing we want to do is start telling you some things that we probably didn't run much, to be quite honest with you, but we have them in our arsenal, depending on who we're playing and whether or not they do a very good job of playing the trap. So we could run wrap And I've never really run it much, but it is another option. So what we get is the play side guard versus a 3 technique. He's going to pass set and wheel a guy upfield. Okay. And what's going to happen is our backside guard is going to just wrap, and he's going to pick up the backside linebacker that way. There's some tweaks that we have against a 50 front. And so on the left, we could fold technique it. Okay. We could run a fold technique where the guard is going to go ahead and block out on the guy on the tackle, and the tackle itself is going to fold on the backside linebacker. And your tight end still going to get the play side linebacker. We've run that some. I don't, be honest with you, I'd have to look pretty deep for some of these cut-ups because we don't run it a ton. Then the other thing is base. And I like to run this against some guys. We didn't run it a ton because I could never get my tight end where he needed to be. And the truth is, depending on the front we get, will determine a little bit of how it's played. So you really have to work it a lot to be able to get the tweaks out of it that you want. And I did not get what I wanted. And so I'm one of those guys that's unfortunate if it's not where I need it to be. I'm going to go ahead, and if I'm not mistaken, this is a base call. Okay, actually, this is a fold call. I'm sorry, this is a fold call. So what you see is my guard blocking out. Okay, that tackle coming under. Problem is if you watch my tight end, he's so far removed because he takes a wide step. Okay, this is a great shot right here. So it's our fold concept. He's here, he's under, and then if he can't get under, he has to at least take a vertical step, quick step, and then go. And he does not do a very good job. He actually outside steps. And because of that, he does not get to the linebacker. See the outside step? And he just misses, and he gets to him and takes a better step. We score a touchdown right there. So just a lot of different things that you have to be able to do when it's trap. And what I want to do is, again, I want to be able to just put ourselves in a position, because the truth is we became very good at running trap. And from year to year, it could be a great play, it could be an average play. Depends on your kids, depends on how you coach it. And really, it depends on what the defense are trying to stop. What we know is some years they're trying to stop the trap, and if we're trying to stop the trap, our belly's there or our blast is there. If they're trying to stop the belly and the blast, then the trap is there. And sometimes it's always there. So if you got questions about the trap, feel free to give me an email, shoot me an email, give me a call. It's rtdbvideo@gmail.com, RT, run the damn ball, video@gmail.com. Or go ahead and DM me at Coach Bishop 1 on Twitter. Hey, appreciate it. Talk to you later.